Every day, I sit alone in a quiet room, I close my eyes, and I just listen. To the laundry running, to somebody moving around in the kitchen, to a car driving by outside. And I know that sounds like nothing, but this little habit trains the one skill almost nobody teaches: hearing music the way musicians hear about it. Think about spaghetti and meatballs. You eat it and you experience it as spaghetti and meatballs. It's one thing, but a trained chef takes the same bite and tastes how much salt is in there, whether there's oregano, whether the herbs are fresh. They can taste the parts. When a musician listens to a song, that's exactly what's happening. They hear the parts. And here's the thing, that's not a gift. It's actually a skill, and you can train it without ever touching your guitar. And there are 3 levels to this skill, and by level 3, it's going to fix a problem that drives almost every one of my students crazy. So hear me out. So level 1 is training this in the quiet room. What I want you to do is I want you to sit somewhere quiet. And when I say quiet, I just mean nobody's talking directly to you, or you're not sitting in a room with a TV or a radio playing. Relatively quiet. It doesn't need to be silent. You're going to sit down, and the first thing you're going to do is close your eyes. Now, there's a reason we close our eyes. So the part of our brain that processes our vision is a newer or, later addition to our brain than the part that processes our ears or our sound that we hear. And so if we have our eyes open, our brain, the part of us that thinks of us, is more closely related to our eyes. We're going to tend to default to that. So closing our eyes helps us focus a little bit more on our ears. So you're going to close your eyes and you're going to listen. Now, even in a quiet room, you're going to start to hear things. Nothing is going to be completely silent. You're going to hear kids playing outside, a car going by, the laundry going on, a dishwasher, water running, somebody walking through the house or apartment. The idea is you're going to hear a lot of things. And what you can do is start bringing your attention to those different things, intentionally listening to the traffic noise, or the laundry room going, or somebody in the kitchen fixing themselves a snack. You're practicing hearing these things in space. Is it off to my right and a little out front? Is it behind me and to the left? Does it feel like it's coming above me or below me? We're practicing bringing our focus between those different things as we see where they sit in space. Boring is the point at level 1. There's no melody to grab your attention, which means you're the one moving it. So now on to level 2. Grab headphones, and we're going to pick a song to listen to. Now, I'm saying headphones instead of a speaker because it's going to give us a perfect stereo field, versus you could be a little off center from your speakers. You could have one of them not performing as well. You could be listening out of a phone. Really, having headphones is going to allow you to immerse yourself in the music and get the full stereo field, that full spread that was intended when the artist and musician recorded that song. Now we need to pick a song. And we don't want to pick something too complicated. You pull out your old Tower Power records and there's so much going on, it's going to be hard to practice this. Instead, what we want to do is pick something with just a few parts. I really like old Motown for this because you can really hear the parts distinctly, especially for the first minute and a half of most of the songs. Another really good one is Dark Side of the Moon. We tend to have vocal, bass, a lot of the drums center, and then we have like one keyboard on the right and one guitar on the left. It's generally a good thing to practice with. Now we want to start easy. Vocals, drums. Those are going to be the easiest things that are going to poke out the most because drums are loud and the vocal is usually the most prominent thing in a recording. Once we can hear the vocal and the drums and switch our attention, it's time to add in more. Maybe there's a guitar, maybe there's a piano. Whatever it is, we're trying to bring our attention between multiple elements. And the real skill is hearing when new parts come in and old parts go out, something that is only there during a chorus, but disappears again when we get to the verse. Now, level 3, and this is the one that fixes the problem I hear constantly. My students tell me I hear the metronome, I'm locked in, and then somewhere along the way, I drift apart. And here's what's actually happening. It's not that you can't keep time, it's that your attention snapped onto you, your fingers, your chord, your playing, your sound, especially when your playing is louder than the recording or the metronome. And the moment your attention leaves the metronome, you're playing at the same time as the metronome, but not with it. So level 3 is training the spotlight, your attention, to stay on the music and the metronome while you play. And I'll show you exactly how to do that in just a second. But real quick, if you're ready to learn your first full song with me in the next 7 days inside my course and community, join me at school.com/guitargympro. The link is right below. Okay, on to level 3. Now we need to play along with a metronome or a recording. First off, we want to do this with a song that we know really well, a song that we can play kind of in our sleep. Think of the songs where you start playing, you realize you're not really paying attention to what you're playing, and all of a sudden you realize, oh, but I haven't messed up, right? Like that kind of, I really know it. Songs that you can pull out and play. Now, what we want to do is we want to turn up the metronome or the recording or whatever we're playing with and turn ourselves down. So you can play an electric just unplugged. That'll make it really quiet. But if you're playing acoustic, we got to do something else. We can turn up the volume, on our speakers or what have you. The other thing is I really like using a metronome with headphones. I'll put one earbud in one ear and then my other ear is out to hear the guitar, but the metronome's always loud enough. So make sure that we can hear what we're referencing. Next, we need to bring our attention back to that over and over again. So start the metronome, start the recording, and begin playing along, intentionally trying to keep our attention on that. Now you're going to notice you start to drift back to paying attention to what you're playing. We all do. It's fun to listen to ourselves play guitar. It's pretty to hear the guitar. So it's natural that we would bring our attention to that. It's also what we're doing. But because we've been practicing level 1 and level 2, we're really good at moving our attention now. So instead of getting locked in on our guitar, as soon as we start to feel ourselves kind of close in, our attention comes to ourselves, we intentionally bring it back out to the metronome, to the recording. Also, this is the most important skill we can have when playing with other people. This is what we're talking about when we say we need to listen in the context of a band to what the drummer's doing, or we're playing with 3 other guitar players. We got to listen more to them than we listen to ourselves to make sure we stay locked in.